Every great fortune in history, no matter how complex, rests on three timeless laws. First, a shift in mindset, from working for survival to thinking like an owner. Second, the pursuit of knowledge, learning from those who mastered the game before you. Third, the power of capital and compounding, the discipline of reinvesting until wealth multiplies itself. Centuries ago, a man with nothing but a handful of seeds used these same laws to save an entire kingdom from collapse. This isn't a parable, it's a case study. I am Darin, and this is the Wealth Lore, where financial wisdom is told through stories. In a prosperous kingdom nestled between rolling hills and a winding river, there lived a humble farmer named Darin. Most farmers worked only to feed their families, selling what little remained for a few coins. But Darin was different. Though poor, he dreamed beyond survival. How can I live in a rich land and still remain poor? He wondered. One day, I will become a noble. Determined, he set out on a long journey to a neighboring country to meet a famous merchant named Sir Thomas, a man who owned vast plantations and traded crops across kingdoms. He didn't farm to survive. He farmed to build wealth. Sir Thomas welcomed Darin and offered him a place to stay. For weeks, Darin listened and learned as the merchant explained how he started with almost nothing and grew into greatness. But Darin couldn't help himself. "You had land and money," he said. "I have nothing." Sir Thomas smiled and placed a few seeds in his hand. "The smallest seed, patiently nurtured, becomes a tree," he said. "And from one tree, a mighty forest can be born. You only need patience and consistency." Those words stayed with him. When Darin returned home, he found disaster. A blight had swept through the kingdom, destroying farms, orchards, and fields. The royal treasury was nearly empty as trade and taxes collapsed. King Darin, wise but troubled, called for counsel. "Bring me a plan to restore the kingdom's prosperity," he declared. "Whoever succeeds shall be made a lord of my court." Merchants rushed to propose importing grain. Scholars suggested raising taxes. But amid the noise, Darin stepped forward with nothing but a handful of seeds. "Seeds?" The royal treasurer scoffed. "We have forests full of trees." "Not trees, Your Majesty," Darin replied. "A principle. A man can eat this seed today and be hungry tomorrow, or he can plant it and feed generations to come." He placed the seeds at the king's feet. "Give me a few copper coins and some unused land. I will buy saplings, plant them, and reinvest every coin they produce. In 10 years, I will return your gold and leave you orchards that will provide wealth and food for generations." The treasurer laughed. 10 years? We could tax merchants 10 times over in that span. But the king, who understood the patience of forests, saw wisdom in Darin's words. 10 years is long," he said. "What stops you from keeping the profits?" "Let it be written and sworn," Darin said. "You provide the land and the seed money. I provide the labor and knowledge. When it bears fruit, the orchards belong to you. I only ask for a share of the harvest during my lifetime." The king agreed. The contract was sealed. Darin began his work. He planted, watered, grafted, and waited. People mocked him. "A fool planting dreams instead of profit," they said. But Darin didn't stop. By the 5th year, his first orchard bore fruit, so much that merchants lined up their wagons to haul it away. Darin sold the harvest and reinvested every coin into more saplings. Year after year, his orchards multiplied. Barren hills bloomed with life. 10 years later, Darin returned to the palace, no longer a trembling farmer, but a confident, respected man. "Your Majesty," he said, "the capital returned in full, and the land now overflows with fruit-bearing trees. These orchards will feed your people and fill your treasury for generations." The king marveled. "You have given us more than gold," he said. "You've given us a living engine of wealth. True riches are not piles of coins, but systems that grow and renew themselves." True to his word, King Theron made Darin a lord, the kingdom's chief horticulturist. Darin taught other farmers what he learned, and the entire land prospered for generations. When people asked him for his secret, Lord Darin would hold up a single seed and say, "Wealth is not about what you have, but what you choose to grow. Do you eat the seed, or do you plant it? Do you spend the coin, or do you make it work? Fortunes aren't built in a day. They're built day by patient day, slow but sure." Darin's legacy lived on for generations. But the true value of this story isn't just in the legend. It's in the timeless financial principles he demonstrated. These aren't ancient secrets. They are the same laws that build fortunes today. Here are the 6 lessons behind the story. Lesson 1, the mindset shift, from laborer to capitalist. The other farmers lived in the earn and consume loop: work, earn, spend, repeat. Darin was once trapped in the same cycle until one thought changed everything. He stopped asking, "How do I survive?" and started asking, "How do I grow?" He didn't want to work for money. He wanted to own something that makes money for him. That's the shift from laborer to capitalist, the foundation of all wealth. Lesson 2, seeking knowledge, the first investment. Before Darin planted anything, he sought wisdom. His first investment wasn't land, tools, or seeds. It was a mentor. Sir Thomas represented experience, leverage, and long-term thinking. Knowledge is the highest return investment in the world, because once you learn a principle of wealth, it pays dividends forever. Lesson 3, the power of capital and compounding. Sir Thomas's words were a blueprint. From one seed comes a tree. From one tree, a forest. Wealth works the same way. Reinvest the returns and the growth becomes exponential. This is compounding, slow at first, unstoppable later. Lesson 4, asset versus income. The scholars and merchants focused on quick fixes, income today. Darin focused on assets, systems that keep producing value. Income feeds you for a day. Assets feed you for life. Real wealth is built by owning systems, not by chasing earnings. Lesson 5, the investment proposal. Darin's plan to the king was a real-world financial model. The king provided capital. The kingdom provided unused land. Darin provided labor and strategy. All profits were reinvested, not spent. After 10 years, the king received a self-sustaining asset. Darin earned a lifetime dividend. That's how lasting wealth partnerships are built. Lesson 6, patience and discipline. People mocked Darin. 10 years felt like an eternity to them. But he understood that compounding takes time. The hardest part of wealth isn't starting, it's waiting. Patience and discipline transform small beginnings into massive outcomes. Final reminder: the greatest fortunes are not built in a day. They're built day by patient day, slow, steady, and sure.